Hi, this is Cassie Fiella, and today we're going to talk about all of the pros and cons of moving to or of living in San Antonio. I'm going to start with the pros because I've lived here most of my life and I absolutely love this city. First good thing, which is my favorite thing about San Antonio, is diversity. Everybody knows that we have a huge Mexican influence, which is awesome. It gives us a lot of flavor and some fun, but we also have people from all over the world. I can tell you what street to go to get to Middle Eastern restaurants and grocery store and the hookah lounges. I can tell you where to go to get great Indian food and get the Indian spices directly from the supermarket. There's just all different types of people here. We also have a diversity of different ages and different family structures, several universities, so we have lots of college students, military families, retired military families, so there's kind of something for everybody. And then the number 2 pro is that there are so many things to go and do. San Antonio is like the party city. We love to party. In fact, in April, the whole month is fiesta. There are so many festivals. It feels like probably every weekend there's some kind of festival. A food festival, my gosh, we have so many food festivals, like a coffee festival. A couple years ago, I went to a grilled cheese festival. We have a tamale festival, just all kinds of things. Great family activity that's pretty budget friendly. We also have, SeaWorld, Fiesta Texas, Schlitterbahn is up the road. So if you like thrills, you've got those amusement parks to go to. If you have children, we have the Dooseum, which is a great new children's museum. We have the zoo. The Botanical Gardens has just added this great family area. We have art museums. We have science museums. And of course, it's a huge city, so whatever kind of shopping and restaurants you could imagine are here. So really, really, really something for everybody. We have great sports franchises. We have great outdoor activities. If you like to hike or you like to go water skiing, there's lots of rivers nearby, or you can go to New Braunfels and just float the river. So there's so much to do close by that every weekend you can do a different thing. So number 3 is the financial stuff. So this is probably the most important. The cost of living in San Antonio is so much lower. According to payscale.com, the cost of living index is 14% lower than the rest of the country, and the cost of housing is 24% lower. The median home price is $262,000 right now in July 2020, but you can definitely find starter homes or good family homes in the $100,000 to $200,000 range all day long. So definitely really low housing costs. San Antonio is a really stable city. We have so many different industries. There are some cities that kind of have the main hub of one particular industry, but then when that industry suffers, the city suffers. So we've got healthcare, we have a huge tourism industry, we have a military, oil field, spillover from the Eagle Ford shale. We have very low unemployment rates compared to other places. One of the things that my clients who are relocating from out of state will tell me pretty frequently is that they were surprised at how friendly everybody is here. And I will say, having grown up here, maybe I'm biased, but even though it's a huge city and you have everything that a large city offers, it still almost feels kind of like a smaller city because everybody's just really friendly, very talkative. You might find yourself chatting with a complete stranger in line or something like that. So those are the pros. Let's move on to the cons. First and probably biggest con in San Antonio is the heat. Y'all, it is hot out here. So we usually have 100 days in a row of over 100-degree weather. June, July, August, even into September is pretty brutal. And that makes it really hard because that's the summertime and that's when you need to get, for everybody's sanity, you've got to get the kids out of the house, and it is just too hot to go outside. And we do have lots of pools and splash pads and things to help cope with it, but it's definitely something that you have to get used to. Also, your air conditioner is running on overdrive all the time. So a little bit, of expense there to put up with the heat, but of course offset in the winter by very nice, lovely winters. The second con is the traffic. Compared to other large cities, even in Texas, the traffic here is nowhere near as bad. There are really predictable parts of day that certain areas are just going to be completely congested. And so 410, 1604, I-35, I-10, 281, you just know that, the rush hours, it's just going to take longer. You can work around it pretty easily, but it is something to think about when you're considering where you want to live, because a lot of times people will say like, oh, I want to live out in the suburbs and commute in, but then you've got to kind of add that cost and time of commuting to the equation there. And then last is the crime rate. So if you Google San Antonio crime rate, then you're going to find lots of different articles and lots of different data out there. Basically says we have a crime rate that's a little bit higher of other cities of this size. So to me, living here, it's just part of living in a city. Kind of a workaround that a lot of people use is choose to live in these little small towns on the outskirts of town. So around 1604, Bernie, Stone Oak, Live Oak, Schertz, Cibolo, Selma, some places like that have a lower crime rate, but are still basically in San Antonio are some options if the crime rate is something that makes you nervous. It does seem to be declining in recent years. I know that when I go downtown, I'm pretty safe. I go there all the time. So we're working on it, but it's definitely something to consider. So I hope all of those pros and cons were helpful to you. If you are moving to San Antonio and you are trying to kind of narrow down what neighborhoods to use, check out my neighborhood tours. I try to give you as much information about different areas as possible with those. And then you can give me a call and we can talk about your specific situation is, what you like to do, what's important to you, and kind of narrow it down to what area would be best for you. I am a realtor, and so I'd be happy to help. If you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe so that more people can see it, and give me some feedback in the comments, like what are your favorite things or least favorite things about San Antonio.